Hey guys, and welcome back to the Woman in Motion Nutrition Podcast. I am your host, Gabby Barretto, and here with me, I have Dr. Sarah Peters, boss extraordinaire. Welcome, Sarah.
Oh, what an intro. Thank you. Oh my God.
You're a boss.
Thank you so
You're a
much.
boss.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm super excited to have this conversation. We had like an hour conversation before this that totally was like the whole podcast in a nutshell.
Yap sesh.
A yap session, guys. It is going to be a 45 minute yap session. We're going to go 45 minutes.
We're caffeinated, we're medicated, we're
caffeinated, medicated, we're ready to go.
Perfect.
Okay. So Sarah is the owner of Limitless Physical Therapy. She's obviously a physical therapist, okay? She's also the F45 queen of Long Beach, New York.
Manager,
okay.
yes.
The manager, a former collegiate gymnast. That's like a huge deal. Can't wait to talk about that.
Yes.
A college professor. Same. We have so much in common, except I did not play college sports, okay? And lastly, ADHD baddie.
Oh yeah, that's how we get stuff done.
That's how we get it done. That's how, because I am a registered dietitian, obviously business owner. I'm also a college professor. I'm a mom. I work at Barry's. I'm a trainer. I used to be a head coach, a head trainer at another fitness place. Professor, mom,
social media manager.
Like
you wear all the hats. That's how we get it done.
The biller. everything in the business. But we get it done because we have ADHD, which we will get to.
Yes.
And how it's like, it's great, but then it also like can kind of make us like.
Honestly, I say it's my superpower.
It is.
We're females and we have ADHD. Done deal. You don't need any more. Yeah.
I do like the superpower talk about ADHD. And we'll talk about it because sometimes I talk about this a lot. Sometimes it leaves out of the picture, like some of the like kind of not so great things about having ADHD.
Yes.
But I try not to think too much that way because I can go down the spiral and just talk about how amazing it actually makes us and how being neurotypical is. Sorry for somebody else in the room who's neurotypical. Like I'm not going to say a little boring, okay? A little boring.
We keep things spicy.
I know, we keep things spicy. Yeah. So where I want to start with you is a little bit of your background. Like, how did you get to by the way, we're in her office right now, and this is some amazing red light therapy in the background. So it's not just the caffeine and the medication, it's the red light therapy that's penetrating.
Yes,
penetrating
the energy
our soul.
is in the room.
The mitochondria are mitochondriaing. But I want to take a step back and talk about being an athlete. How the heck did you even get into gymnastics? Like,
oh my gosh.
Rock.
Yeah. So, I mean, I taught myself how to do gymnastics.
No, you did not.
I was flipping on, I actually probably showed the clips. No, I have like footage of me.
Send it to me.
Just chucking flips on my backyard, like in my backyard on my front lawn. But I was a dancer first, so was trained in dance, all styles, ballet, tap, jazz, all the above. Had more of like a lean dancer's body type. Then went to gymnastics, started putting on muscle.
Love.
Changed everything, but worked my way up to the collegiate level. I actually had a full reconstructive ankle surgery, so that's actually kind of what.
You?
That was when I was actually getting recruited for colleges.
Gosh.
I ended up having like a verbal commitment offer to do gymnastics in college. And then when I had my injury and had to have emergency surgery, they took my scholarship offer away from me, which at that time felt like the end of the world. But you know what? It like led me to my career as a physical therapist because that entire kind of route led me to find my field. So from collegiate gymnast to then physical therapist.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you taught yourself to be a gymnast?
Yeah. I just would like have no fear and I just like chucked things. And I was like, like the curb on your, like, on the road.
Yeah.
I like pretended like that was a balance beam.
You were hyperactive ADHD. Okay.
Just always.
Because there is hyperactive, inattentive, and then combined type hyperactive. You are hyperactive.
I just had to always stimulate myself. I was always,
Right. That's like the thing though with ADHD, like and we're going to talk about it, it's like we always just need constant stimulation.
Yes.
Right. So like as a kid, you were just like, you're like my son. You're like my 3.5-year-old.
I'm a child.
He's fearless. He is completely fearless. So talk to me about like being a college gymnast. Like I'm a dietitian. I worked with college dancers, college lacrosse players, soccer players. basketball players. And I know like how intense. I was not a college athlete. I always say like I'm a failed athlete, or
Oh my God,
I'm just was not a
stop.
successful athlete. I'm athletic.
You are
okay?
athletic.
I played everything. Soccer was my game, but I was never going anywhere with anything. So like, but I know like I had friends in college who were athletes. And like the life is so different between like, I'm just going to go to college and like go to the gym and hang out. And like, I'm a committed athlete. So what was that like?
It definitely becomes a job. It's a full-time job. I think like I fell in love with gymnastics and I had so much fun with it. And when I went to college, it just shifted gears. Like it didn't have that same like fun, like just like no pressure type of feel. Like it really switched for me. And I honestly I was on the collegiate gymnastics team for my first 2 years,
Right.
Coming back from my surgery, my injury. And then when my body was just like hurting and it felt like a chore to go to practice, it felt like work, there was like so much pressure. I was just like, this is not the life I want to live.
Right.
So then I ended up going back to my roots and going on the college dance team, which I performed at like the halftime shows and things
Right.
like that. But I was very adamant on, I had a specific goal in gymnastics and I wanted to, I became All-American, which was a big accomplishment.
Okay,
I
queen.
was actually aiming to be a national champ and I didn't get to be a national champ. So All-American is what I will settle for.
Who am I sitting with?
No,
Okay.
I literally I probably would have felt like I failed myself if I didn't like hit that achievement. So once I hit that achievement, I was like, okay, I came back from a surgery, I accomplished my goal and now I'm like, I just want to have fun with it again and not feel like my body was hurting. I was like, I just couldn't keep up with it anymore.
Right. No, I hear you. By the way, where did you go to college?
SUNY Cortland. Yeah. Which is a D3 school. So like the pressures of a D1 program are probably like 4 times the amount of that. Not saying that it wasn't that level because Cortland is a very athletic school. It's all centered around the sports. So it was probably like one of the top like level D3 schools. So yeah.
And like I know working with, especially like it's like an aesthetic sport. Dance is an aesthetic sport. And like my experience working with like a college dance team, it was so toxic in that way of like, I don't know how your coaches were, which we didn't even touch about. I'm kind of just asking you now, like the coaches that I worked with, I was brought on as a dietitian and what they were doing to these girls of like, micromanaging their diets, like making them write a food log on like Google spreadsheets, like body shaming them if their weight wasn't what it should be. They were practicing in booty shorts. Like it was traumatizing for me to be there. And then like, because I was trying to bring like a healthy mentality and I eventually like was like filtered out of the equation as like the healthy dietitian. But like, I know that I affected like a lot of the girls there and the guys on the team and really just like played the role I needed to play. But like, what was that like?
It's honestly traumatizing.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
It's such a fragile conversation when you're surrounded by a bunch of women in leotards.
Yeah.
And like, by the way, like we still have to push through and go to practice when we have our periods. Like, like you don't feel your best. You're in a leotard and like, the coach is very make or break in the sport. Like a good coach elevates the game. A bad coach is a downward spiral of the rest of your life. You're going to be struggling with issues. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've had so many different coaches that I've had the coaches that I can separate in that great category. And then I've had coaches like in the past, I've had, not going to name names.
Don't
but
name
I've had,
any names,
I know I won't,
okay?
but I've had coaches that,
Gatekeep
that have done the measuring our bodies with tape measure. I've done the like circling parts on our bodies with Sharpie markers that like are like I've had a lot of that. What that does to a woman is like you can't. That's the rest of your life. You're affected by that. But I think having good people to create better relationships with food and body in your life can make or break everything.
No,
so,
for sure. It's actually so sad.
And it still nobody talks about that.
And it still goes on to this day. Like you're talking about the tape measures. This was being done in the middle of the gymnasium, like not even like these poor dancers were like not even in a locker room having this done. This was like in front of everyone.
It's crazy.
And they were all like measuring each other. Like it's terrifying. And it actually doesn't even correlate to you being, and I know in gymnastics there's like the aerodynamics part of it and like the weight can play like a role, weight, power, etc. But it like doesn't even make or break a dancer, right? Like there's certain things, and there were some girls that were like bigger and amazing dancers and smaller and amazing dancers, and like I had dancers who were like, oh, I don't have a period, and I walked in and they didn't have a period, and I'm like, you don't have a period, like we got to fix that and like and work on that. Like for people who don't know, like you can lose your menstrual cycle if you're under eating. You're being kind of told by a coach that, you know, like you need to be smaller and smaller and smaller. You're under eating, you're over training, and you put yourself in that state of like what we call low energy availability, and you can lose your menstrual cycle. I talk about this all the time.
Well, and that's the thing with gymnastics too, is you need to be so powerful and strong, but also light and like aerodynamic, how you were saying, that's a perfect word. So it's like those two are so hard as a college athlete too, when you like first go away and you have to feed yourself. You're like, what do I even make for dinner for myself? Now I'm in control. Like I don't, you know, like so many different factors. It's really hard. But
it is. And that's where like we see, and we know this in the data, like we just see higher amounts of like disordered eating in these sports. And it's like, you guys actually need a lot of food and a lot of fuel to power what you're doing.
Crazy.
So how do you feel like being a gymnast, like how did that, let's kind of talk about how that like brought you into like this world of like, it brought you into physical therapy.
Yes. Also fitness though too.
Yeah.
So I graduated my undergrad degree. I originally went to school for elementary education, thought I wanted summers off, but that didn't happen. So now it
would have been actually great.
I know.
In Long Beach. Okay.
I know. I was there. Don't remind me. But I went to the route of like physical therapy, kinesiology, exercise science. So when I was in physical therapy school, I picked up a side job as like a personal trainer at F45 just for like some side cash. Ended up starting as like a member there, then a trainer, and now I'm the manager. And I was actually like really nervous about taking on that job as like just personal training in general or like group fitness because you know, we have the in-body scan and a lot of members join just to like, their main goal is to lose weight. And I'm like, how am I, somebody that has like an altered relationship with myself, my food, my body, all these things, like somebody's gonna come to me and like ask me for like help and advice. And I didn't want it to spiral myself, but I actually feel like it almost like healed a part of me, to be honest. Like, I think like being able to know like, movement is medicine and being able to like celebrate like the wins of like, oh my gosh, someone getting like an unassisted pull-up, like they're freaking strong, like things like that. And like shifting the mentality towards it was actually really healing for me. So
in terms of like your relationship with like exercise.
Yes.
Because coming from being a gymnast, your relationship with exercise was
just horrible.
Horrible. Like, be as skinny as possible. Because that's just like what you heard your whole life. Right?
Exactly.
And this was supposed to be something that you enjoyed. And I identify with you too, because like I came into being a dietitian and being a trainer because I had an eating disorder and terrible body image issues. And like, I came in so unhealthy myself, right? Like I was not a healthy person, but through school, education, and time in this like industry and what I've really learned, like it was part of my healing. There's other things outside that I really had to do and still do today to like heal and continue like my progress and my growth. But, you know, I do know for myself personally that like it has been healing. Like just even working with people who have such a bad relationship with food and exercise and seeing what it's done to their body, my body. Like I talked about the period stuff. I didn't have my period for a very long time. And like knowing what that does to your body and being able to like educate people and inspire them too. Like I share so much of my story because it's really helpful to like people like, oh, okay. 100%. It's not just me. Like even when we talk about ADHD, like it's not just
you feel
me.
heard.
You're like, oh, like there's another gym girly who like struggled, suffered, now has a good relationship with exercise and food and runs her own business and is a baddie and like, love that term, baddie, by the way.
Using it as a superpower. That's
okay, but like, so you became personal trainer at F45.
Yes.
In PT school. Okay. You're still at F45.
I know.
The queen of F45 Long Beach. Did you start there?
Yes.
This is the only one you've been at?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, cool.
This is my home.
Your home.
Yeah. But honestly, like through that, I had other physical therapy jobs once I graduated, kind of like at the time. And I just felt like there's so many different types of PT, right? You can do geriatric, pediatric, like school settings. There's hospital settings, inpatient, outpatient, so many different settings. But I felt like where I really connected, just even bringing everything full circle with like F45, was we're all like active adults and we have maybe like, let's say like a lingering low back pain or just something. We were former athletes. Now we're feeling the aches and pains now. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to get hurt, injury prevention, but also like I want to still stay active and feel good. And I felt like there were so many of us in these F45 classes or just fitness classes in general that we're just trying to keep ourselves healthy and move our bodies and all this. And it felt like there was kind of like a missing hole in like the physical therapy realm, because you don't have to be injured like post-surgery or something to get surgery. I mean, to get physical therapy. Like there's a specific part of PT that you can, but I opened up my practice right up on the 3rd floor of F45. So it was kind of like a full circle moment where I could like see people in the classes, treat them upstairs, also have them, if they want to try to get back to class, then I see them get back into the fitness classes and like doing what they want to do. So it's a full circle moment, but people always make the joke. They're like, oh my God, you probably like push people too hard in your classes and then injure them and send them to PT. And I'm like, maybe. No, I'm just kidding. That's a good business model. No,
great business model. Let's harm them.
Yeah, let's push them so hard.
But that's like actually what some business models kind of are.
A disclaimer, it's not mine, but I know.
I know. Yeah. But you make up a good point. Like you don't need to be like completely injured, and also like you don't need to walk around in pain.
Exactly.
You've helped me so much.
Oh my God, thank you.
Yeah, like my shoulder, I've been like,
oh yeah, like you're more aware of it, right? I honestly call it like, if you think of a traffic light, right? Like red light, yellow light, green light. The red light is like you are out for the count. You have a debilitating injury. You cannot. But like that yellow area is like where a lot of us live. Like it's and I also love to see people in the green zone. Like if you're feeling good, that's great. Let's do recovery. Let's see how everything's gonna stay there. But like that yellow and green zone, like people don't realize that like they can come in and get treated.
Also
so
like be preventative.
Yeah.
And like if you are someone who's really active, one time I was like, I forgot who I was with. He's like a nutritionist, but he's also like a strength and conditioning coach. And they were like, I was like a student at the time, and they were like joking, like you're either one day like you're gonna need a cardiologist or you're gonna need a physical therapist. Like you just are. And like I like performing. I love kicking my butt. I love like going out there. I love running fast speeds. I miss boxing. Like I love lifting heavy. I love it all. But like your body is gonna feel something at some point. And it's not like, oh, you shouldn't do that.
Yeah. My marathon runners, I'm like, you think your body's going to feel good for 26.2? Yeah, like there's always going to be things that come up, but that's
when I was running that half marathon, like I told you, I started to feel this little guy in here and on my hip flexors. I was like,
yep. You're like,
I told it to be quiet. It calmed down.
And then mind body connection.
I know. And then it calmed down. I called it. And I was actually with a client today. He's coming back into running. He's had like really bad glute pain. And I was talking with his physical therapist. He's in the city. And I'm like, I think a lot of this is psychosomatic. I think a lot of this is like old injuries that are like, because that happened to me, like even when like with my hamstring and all that, like I feel like a lot of it's because I had a traumatic experience of like pulling my hamstring in the middle of a half marathon, like horrible pain. Like I also feel like there's some, and you tell me because you're the physical therapist.
Oh yeah, tell me.
That there's some like psychosomatic part of like injury and pain and fear of re-injuring and feeling the pain. So like I always say like, be quiet.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you.
There's a whole like pain science there. Like, I mean, it's so intertwined. And we can obviously save that for a different episode.
Okay, we're gonna have like 7 episodes.
I know.
But I was telling him, like, he was like, I'm actually feeling good. And I was like, I think it's because like we're working on your mindset and like trusting your body again and fueling yourself right? Like it's so important with the work that we both do, right? With people is like, if you want to perform at the level that you want to perform, you have to eat and you have to take care of your body.
Yeah.
Like seriously. If you want to run, even if you just want to go to fitness classes and work hard and train hard, you don't have to like go and compete. Like you have to fuel your body. Yeah. Like this guy that I had, like he wasn't fueling his body right. And he just kept having injury after injury. And his physical therapist was like, you have to fuel yourself better.
I know. That it all stems down to that.
It all comes hand in hand.
Yeah, for sure.
We're like a power couple, okay? We are.
No, I know. We're like the two of us.
The power couple. Speaking of being a power couple, okay?
What?
Let's talk about having ADHD.
Through all of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Through all of that. So who should go first?
I know, I'm like, I feel like you need to go
Who
first.
wants to go first? Speaking of ADHD, let's get down to business, okay? Let's get to the juicy part.
Are we medicated? No, I'm just kidding.
I am medicated today.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
medication.
medicated through my caffeine today.
I'm medicated today. So ADHD has been like the bane of my existence for the past, I don't know, 6 months.
Amazing. Okay.
6 months post 6 months post diagnosis. Okay, but I've
PDX.
known for a very long time that I've had undiagnosed but very apparent ADHD. But I didn't really know that I had ADHD.
What was like your like eureka moment? Like when?
Well, my best friend has ADHD. Like my best friend in the world
Yeah.
has ADHD, and she'd always be like, "Gabby, that's your ADHD. That's ADHD. That's ADHD."
She would, like,
and I'm just
okay.
like, then I would watch all like the memes on TikTok and Instagram, and I'd be like, "That's kind of like me." But I didn't really realize like, oh. We always look at ADHD as like you're hyperactive, you're inattentive, you're staring out the window. That's me. Like I'm more inattentive, but I'm also a little hyperactive. And I really didn't put it all together. I didn't put together how much of me and who I am is ADHD influence.
I identify.
I identify. Like the more you learn about ADHD, you just kind of like are like, oh, shoot, my whole life. I made that decision because I had ADHD and I was jumping off the curb trying to flip because I had ADHD as a kid and it was undiagnosed, and it gets significantly undiagnosed in women. Women are diagnosed much later in life. I don't know the exact age, average age. I think it's somewhere in our 20s.
I think it like also progress. I don't know. Does it? I think it gets worse, or at least I feel like maybe what I wasn't aware of, like maybe a few years ago, and maybe it was ADHD, but now I'm like, whoa, it's like full blown. Like it feels like it's getting amplified or worse.
Right.
But I don't know.
It could be, and I'm not like an ADHD expert or a therapist or anything. It's just like my own experience. I'm just sharing my own experience and what I've read and what I've learned about ADHD and myself. So I'm not diagnosing anybody.
No, but I think it's environmental too, though.
Right.
Like it's what, and we've spoken about this, is like, I think also as business owners and being in like this social media space and also fitness, it's like you always have to be on. Like you're forced to be on, and that part of my brain not turning that off, I think for me is just always. I do call ADHD my superpower, but it's like the only way that like I function in society is because it's like it's always on. I can't turn it off.
But like we call a lot of like, and I think kind of a lot of what you're talking about is like masking and trying to, and this is what I noticed about myself. I masked for so much of my life and I tried to like fit in for so much of my life. But I always say it's like, here's the circle. And everybody is inside, and I've always just felt like I was out here, like the circle, and I've always felt like I was out here, and sometimes someone would come out of the circle and like, be my friend,
hang out with you.
and then they would be like, come in, and I'd be like, I can't be here anymore.
Oh my God.
I need to be out here. Like, that's just like, and I would always try to act and try to like, basically kind of like what we call is masking, like try to act like everybody else, and you're just like, I don't want to do this, which is why like, I can't go to a job from 9 to 5 and get paid. I need to like go do my own thing. I don't want to listen to anybody.
Yeah.
Right. So like a lot of what I feel, what we do, especially as girls and as women, is like, oh, we should act a certain way, and we need to be a certain way, like quiet. And like when you're smart too, it's like always say ADHD baddies are smart too. Like we're smart. Like I have a client and I'm just like, oh, ADHD. I go, girl, but you're smart, and you don't realize like once you understand your ADHD, what you're going to be able to do with your life, and how amazing you're going to be, because you can be really amazing. There's no downsides to it, but like what you're describing is that like I'm just trying to function, and like when you come home and you're like, okay, I can finally turn off, because all day I'm out there like, smile, be pretty, be nice to everybody.
Yep.
Don't wear your feelings on your face, because then you have RBF.
No,
and
literally.
people are gonna be like, she's so dumb. And you're gonna be like, no, I hate being fake. Right? I love being real. I hate being fake. And then you go home and you're just like, I'm so exhausted and emotionally drained. Leave
But
me
I feel
alone.
like what's cool is like, it's not fake because we are this way of like, I mean, like, for example, my day today involved me opening the gym at 4:30 in the morning. I coach my classes. I'm very expressive. I'm go. Then I go into meetings where I'm also speaking.
Yeah.
Then I'm going into treating patients, and then I'm also speaking. And I'm like constantly this like go. But like for me, that stimulation of stacking my day like that is like what makes me feel alive.
Right.
And when you talk about like how maybe it's also just us being females, but like having to like diminish or dim that, like once I started like locking into that, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm me. Like I'm unlocking the best part of me that everybody wants to see. And it's not fake at all. It's just like, this is what stimulates me throughout my day. And yes, like at the end of the day, I'm like nobody, I'm like, I need to just go right in the shower. I beeline to the shower. I'm like, I need silence. Like, and then we do voice memos a lot too. And I feel like
I need silence at the end of the day too.
Same.
And I want to like kind of touch back to what I was saying. It's when we have to like not be our ADHD selves. Like when we have to like, okay, maybe like this isn't the time or place for Gabby to be Gabby. That's exhausting. But there's a reason why I do what I do. There's a reason why I run my own business. I talk to people all day for a living.
Yeah.
I do things like this. I'm doing this podcast. There's a reason why I teach group fitness classes. Like I make like these, I make a lot of TikToks about this. Like I can be myself and like unapologetically, like, no, I don't like, okay, maybe like there's some things that you like don't say, but like I can say crazy stuff in my fitness classes and like it's just accepted. I can be loud.
Yes.
I can be like theatrical and no one's gonna be like, you're weird.
Don't you feel so alive during that?
Alive.
Yes.
I made this TikTok and it was like a Kylie Jenner voice and she's like, I'm really starting to feel like myself again.
Yes.
Like, and I made it and it was like when I put my microphone on, put on a playlist that like eats and get to like I get to be Mickey Mouse for 45 minutes.
I love it.
I'm like, I am Mickey Mouse in the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. That's who I am. Like I put on a smile and I love it and I don't feel like I'm faking it.
Yes.
I feel like I'm faking it when I have to sit down and be quiet and listen. Like I can't go to a conference. Don't bring me to a conference. I'm not sitting and watching a webinar.
Or, well, also the unglamorous part of being business owners is there's probably a lot of computer work and desk work that you have to do. Oh my gosh. That's where I don't feel alive.
You know why I have that little vibration plate under my feet?
Yes, now I get it.
So I sit, what is it called again?
I think it's just
the little vibration plate.
Yeah.
You put it under your feet, the things that you stand on, and it goes like this. Okay. So I put that under my desk and I put my feet on it and it just wiggles my feet because I need stimulation to do all this desk work stuff.
Do you feel like that literally is the battery power to your brain? Like I feel like my brain works if I'm like.
But I use so much AI now to do so much stuff. Like I have so many commands in my ChatGPT. Daniel's going to be so happy when he hears me say this, okay? I have so many commands in my ChatGPT that I just like, even when I'm programming my classes, like I have to have like certain speeds that I match in the treadmills because I teach at Barry's, right? I have my ChatGPT has all of the information. I put my program in there and it tells me what's right, what's wrong, what I need to fix, right?
That's such a good tool though.
So I use so much AI because I can't do brain power, like even like billing stuff, this and that. I have to write everything is like needs to be automated and like to get to the point where I could do that, it takes a lot of brain power.
Yeah.
It's like it's very hard to be a business owner and have ADHD, but it's also so much easier to be a business owner and have ADHD because you get things done.
Yeah.
You get things done.
How I noticed that I really needed to be medicated and like actually like take control of this was that like I was starting tasks and I was getting so frustrated because I like wasn't finishing them, but I was like, I felt like I couldn't control that. Like I was like, what the heck, Sarah? Like, why could you not, like, that pissed me off. Because I'm like, why did I go from A to B to C to go back to A? Like, it just was like, I was actually like inhibiting myself. Right. I wasn't optimizing that. And so I feel like now that I kind of have it under control, I can like use AI and use these tools to help me elevate it as opposed to feeling like I'm fighting myself.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
That's what it is. And we spoke about this before the podcast. It's because with ADHD, we seek dopamine, right? And if something is not giving us dopamine, like being excited about starting a task, right, is like, oh, I'm gonna start this. And then you realize like there's no dopamine response to it.
Yeah.
And so we immediately are like, nope, I'm not doing this.
I'm such a dopamine chaser.
I'm a dopamine chaser, which is why you're flipping off of the curve, right?
So true.
But for me, I was like, I'm a very emotional, like dysregulated ADHD person. Like I get off on like anger, frustration. Like that's my dopamine seeking behavior. The gym, working out, running, right? Like these kinds of things are big dopamine seeking behaviors for you, risk taking behaviors, right?
But it can be like good and like
it is.
It can be like, you know, how we were talking before, like the alcohol. It can be other, but like channeling it into fitness is like
a little toxic sometimes.
A little toxic.
But
we love a little
toxicity. Like guys, we'll take a little toxicity if it's like, okay, maybe we cut that. No, we don't. But like, listen, I always tell people this. It's like, because I work a lot in eating disorders. I'm like, there's going to be a give or take. Like we're going to get to a point where like yes, we want to heal, we want to recover. Like with ADHD, like I don't think I'm ever going to be perfect. I think I'll continue to get better of like recognizing things and being able to mask when I need to and being able to like unmask when it's appropriate. Like I'm getting better at that. Medication is so helpful to because you just need dopamine to do boring things. You don't want to do boring things. I don't want to do boring things.
Doing boring things.
I don't want to edit this.
I know. It's hard work.
It's 10 milligrams to edit this, okay? It's not 5 milligrams to edit this.
This is going to be a little extra.
It's going to be 10 milligrams to edit this, okay?
It's going to be one of those.
Right. So I think like we say it's a superpower, and I don't ever want to dismiss that, but like there's also the challenges of having ADHD, right?
Yeah.
And like it's fine. We deal with it. We made it to 31.
The pros outweigh the cons,
yes,
I would say, but yeah.
We made it to 39, almost 39 and 31. I'm 39, she's 31, okay?
I'm still getting there.
And I mean, after having children, because I wasn't diagnosed until after I had my kids, where like postpartum hormones, like it's kind of good to know when you're younger. I didn't know till I was older.
Yeah.
That like, okay, big transitions in life are going to make, and that's why you're even saying like, oh, why is it getting worse? Why is it getting worse? Like you've had a major life transition. You literally grew a business and then double, triple the size of that business in a year, which is incredible.
Yeah,
but like with transitions in your life and like other stuff going on in our lives, like things are gonna like pop up even more.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's why we go to therapy.
I know. Therapy, medication.
Exercise.
Exercise.
Red light.
Red
sauna.
light.
Let's go find a PubMed on how that is helping us.
It's so true though.
Speaking of red light, amazing. Okay, benefits.
Do we feel the energy?
I just feel the energy is vibing. Okay, anything else you want to add to our ADHD vibes?
I'm trying to think. I think we hit the nail on the head.
And we hit the nail on the head. The last segment, our little rapid fire. All right, we are going to go into our rapid fire fit girl mistakes from a physical therapist and a registered sports dietitian. Okay,
perfect.
So, really, I want to go through 5 mistakes that fit girlies in the gym are making in terms of like you'll go with like the exercise stuff. I'll go with the nutrition stuff. Okay. Who's gonna go first?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay.
Skipping breakfast is my biggest pet peeve, even though I'm an ADHD girly and sometimes I struggle. Okay, I get it. Okay.
Did you eat breakfast?
I did have breakfast. Okay, I told you I had eggs.
Okay. Perfect.
I had my egg omelet. And then, I don't know, then I had Cadbury eggs with it. That's so ADHD.
No,
okay. I'm a dietitian, guys. I had 5 Cadbury eggs.
I'm also really bad. Like, I
and an omelet with cheese.
I'm like, I didn't eat breakfast.
Okay, you have to come to my office, okay?
Yes.
Skipping breakfast, we know, and I talk about this all the time, that we need protein in the morning. It's hormonal, right? Well, I'm not hungry. I'm like, well, we got to start stimulating your hunger, guys. You need about 25, 30 grams of protein in the morning. That is going to help with your normal cortisol curve. Cortisol peaks in the morning, and it's supposed to drift off. If you don't eat, cortisol is going to stay high because your body's like, oh, I don't have any fuel. So I need to run on something, adrenal glands, right? So cortisol. That's my number 1.
Okay.
Skipping breakfast.
I think my number 1 is that heavy weights make you bulky. Like, can we stop being afraid of the heavy weights? Like, we need to stop that because, first of all, as we age, we need to increase strength. How are we increasing strength, right? Like, but also, if you're working out for an appearance or a look, yes, there's different ways. Like you can manipulate different. There's time under tension. It doesn't have to just be like, you know, doing the same reps over and over again. But I think that's my especially women. I'm like, why are we afraid of the bigger weights?
I don't know.
Why?
It bothers me.
We have talked about this before. How good does a snatch feel?
Oh my God. So don't say that to my left shoulder, okay?
But like, you know what I mean? Like
one
sometimes
day.
you just gotta chuck a weight. You know,
I just want to take a rip of weight off the ground
Yes.
and throw it up over my head.
I'm like, I get empowered by
Say,
that.
screw men, okay?
Yeah, right.
Screw men. Sorry, D. Okay.
Okay, that's mine.
Okay. Fit girly mistakes. Okay. I'm gonna say, well, with skipping breakfast, this kind of goes hand in hand of like not eating anything until 2 o'clock. Okay. I see a lot of people do this, or like not eating, skipping breakfast, and then not like, if you're gonna skip breakfast within an hour, okay, cool, give me 3 hours, eat something in the morning, but then just like having a coffee and then going all day until like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, okay?
That's crazy.
And not eating anything. Like you are like disservice to all of the hard work you're doing in the gym.
Yeah.
Disservice. And then I find that so many people just overeat late at night.
Yeah.
You're not giving, there is nutrient timing that has to do with like muscle growth, repair, muscle protein synthesis and breakdown. Those are my nerd terms. It's not that nerdy, but whatever. But like just skipping all day. Okay, I'm not going to talk about people
then by
who
the
did
time
that.
people get, yeah, I know, like maybe mate. No, just kidding. By the time you get home, it's like, then you're like,
You're starving.
Ravenous.
Ravenous.
Yeah.
Ravenous.
Yeah.
Okay, next, because time.
Okay, mine would, I've heard this like so many times and I just still cannot wrap my head around it. My second one is going to be that HIIT, like high intensity interval training, is bad for you because it puts your body in fight or flight, like that it's like, it increases stress and cortisol, like, I also don't think like the level that you're putting yourself at in a group fitness class, like a Barry's or F45 or you're not getting yourself to fight or flight. Like,
right, but like also like exercise is a stress response and we have adaptations to that stress response.
Yes.
But like if you're doing HIIT and you're crushing yourself and you're not eating enough, so I'll go into number 3, like not eating enough to reach a body composition goal, right? Completely underfueling. You want to be, if you want a body composition goal and you want to lose body fat, it's a slight deficit. It's not like it's, I give people 15, 20% calorie deficit. We're not doing huge calorie deficits. So completely underfueling, which goes back to what we were talking about earlier, like a whole hormonal cascade that happens when you underfuel, can lose your period, affect fertility, affect your bone mineral density. So like under eating too much and working out really hard is going to mess with your hormones. Like, and you're also not going to reach the body composition that you want.
Yeah.
Like I saw this Instagram reel and they're like, those girls in the gym with the muscles and like the lower body fat percentages, like they're not in a calorie deficit. They're eating. Like maybe at one point they were in a calorie deficit, but like you got to eat to lift and you got to eat to work out.
you need both.
You need both. Okay, next. 3.
Okay, so mine is going to be more like the physical therapy side of things. Mine's going to be that if you're experiencing pain, you shouldn't work out or exercise. Like if, like, oh, you have low back pain, you need to rest. Like that, movement's medicine. Like we need to move. Maybe you can like manipulate the movement or like maybe pull back on, like if there's a range of motion and the end range is where you feel pain, let's limit the range of motion.
Right.
You know, like things like that. Like you still need to move. Your body needs that lubrication in the joints, like sliding and gliding needs everything to work together. So avoiding movement in general is going to be the worst thing for us as a society.
I was going to feel like, oh, I'm hurt. I can't do anything. I was like, no, but there's things that you can do.
So many things
you can do.
So many things. Yeah.
Okay, next. Why am I blanking? Oh, because my ADHD brain is like,
no, I know. I'm like trying to think of my next one too.
For me is protein, right? Protein, you need protein, 0.8.
gosh.
I give people max, and this is in pounds, 0.8 grams per pound. I usually work in kilograms because I don't need to explain. It's just the science, how my brain works with the science, okay? But 1.5 up to like 1.7, 2. What I find is that when so many people just focus on protein, they eat too much protein, right? They're overdoing the protein. It comes with other macronutrients, especially if you're eating a lot of meat. It comes with more fat. the other thing too is if you're overdoing protein, you're missing out on other nutrients from other food groups. Carbohydrates are not also like the skipping carbohydrates. That's my next one.
Yeah.
But like just over focusing on protein, you're just missing other nutrients when you just eat so much protein. And also like you just eat more calories when you're eating more protein than you need. And too much protein and people are like, oh, I'm eating this much protein. Like, and my stomach hurts and I'm farting. And I'm like, well, it's hard to digest. Hard to digest. Okay, next.
Exactly.
A rapid fire. This is rapid fire.
I'm like, wait, I don't even know if I have another one. I don't know. Oh,
I got one for you.
Is it the foam rolling?
Yes!
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yes.
Okay, so we could go there. People that just like, they're just like, I'm just gonna foam roll this out.
Don't roll this one out.
I'm just gonna roll this one out. Like, first of all, or like holding a static stretch, like any of these like mobility, like recovery things, like you can foam roll for 45 minutes or hold a stretch for 45 minutes. Great, you have the recoil effect. It's gonna go back. Unless you don't use it, what are you doing? It's doing nothing for you, you know? Like, yes, you wanna gain range of motion, but then you gotta use the range of motion. Otherwise, it's not doing anything. So people are always like, oh my God, but like I do stretch. They're like, I stretch every day. I do it. Like, why is it not making a difference?
I'm rolling this out and nothing's happening.
Yes, I'm like, okay, but great. That's only half. Maybe not even half. Maybe that's like a quarter of it. Now you got to use it. Now we got to strengthen in the end. We got to do eccentrics. There's other things to go with that, you know.
In my classes, I do so much eccentric stuff because nobody does it.
Love a good eccentric.
Everyone just wants to go up and down. I'm like, no, you're gonna push up and you're gonna slowly pull it down, right? You're gonna drop down into that push. You're gonna come down slow into that push up. You're gonna explode up. I do so much eccentrics in my class because nobody wants to slow the F down.
I know.
Slow down.
As New Yorkers, we don't know how to slow down.
I know, but I got to teach people to slow down.
And we also have ADHD, so we don't really slow down.
I actually don't even know what number we're on, but I'm gonna do one more. Do one more. Carbs will make you fat. Underfueling carbs, not eating enough carbs, not eating carbs before training, not eating carbs after training. Carbohydrates are our main source of energy for our muscles, our body, our brain primarily runs on glucose. And so many people, athletes, people in the gym wanting to lose weight, they'll cut carbohydrates. I'm like, but your brain eats so much carbs every day, glucose every day. That's its primary source of energy. Glucose is a simple carbohydrate. What all of our food breaks down into glucose, right? For the most part. I won't go too far, but we use glucose. And so like underfueling with carbs, you're not going to feel great. Your muscles are not going to recover great. And you're not going to be able to get back to work next day. Okay, one more. You.
Oh my God, I don't know. What's my last one? I mean, I could do an unpopular opinion, but
go unpopular opinion.
Well, really big in the gym world right now is,
yes, do it.
Is peptides.
Yes.
Peptides as, first of all, what the fuck is a peptide?
So a peptide is, I know what a peptide is.
No, I know what it is.
So a peptide, but let's explain that to people. I want to do a whole podcast on peptides. One of my friends is very into peptides. Peptides are small chains of amino acids, right? And so the peptides, right? GLP-1 is a peptide.
Yes.
So peptides target cells to do certain things, right? So it sends a signal to a cell to produce or to turn on a response, to turn off a response. So the idea is that some of these peptides, and there are peptides that are, proven to do certain things and target cells, but first of all, what's going on in the peptide world is like this is not regulated. What compound pharmacy is it coming from? Are you actually getting what you're getting? Like I have a client right now who says he's on a peptide, but nothing is happening. So I don't think that the peptide's actually working or doing things. And it's also like we don't have a lot of data, and we also don't know like is it also going to proliferate or grow cells that we don't want to grow, like cancer cells, right? Like if you have cancerous cells in your body and we're doing all these peptides, so it's like, why do we want to put stuff in our body that we don't even know what 100% it's doing?
Like in the gym world, I don't know, even just in the regular world, but like in my world of F45, more people are on it than are not on it. People my size, people like it's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah. It's sad, but
and like some of them are good, and we won't get into like a big discussion, but like there's a lot of stuff out there that like people are selling like snake oils, and there's certain companies around here and on Long Island that just like throw peptides at people. And I had a client he was being sold a peptide, and I was just like, hi, this peptide's actually going to worsen your diabetes. So like, let's not do that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so unregulated and the wrong people are talking about it. And I want to do so much more talk about this.
I know, we can do, that's a whole second episode.
Anywho. Sarah, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Any final place? Where can people find you online, in person? Tell us about that.
Okay, so website is limitlesspt.net. Instagram is limitlesspt_LBNY for Long Beach, New York.
What about you?
My
your cute
personal,
little personal one.
This is the one I care about the most. So honestly, Sarah DPT. No, sorry.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, I'm like having an identity crisis. Sorry.
I'll post it. It's okay.
Instagram is sarahpeters913. Email is sarahDPT913@gmail.com. But yeah,
Amazing.
do the Instagram.
Right. Do the Instagram.
Instagram.
Guys, come see Sarah. She has fixed me and my QL and my serratus.
Yeah, you're doing
and
so
one
much
day
work.
we're gonna snatch, okay? Come see her. She's a miracle worker. But Sarah, thank you so much for coming on air. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. This was so fun.
High five.